All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Boulevard Brewing Company, and they're out of Kansas City, Missouri, and this is their chocolate ale, the 2020 vintage. So this one is an American strong ale that is brewed with cacao nibs along with chocolate and vanilla extracts. Comes in at 8.7% alcohol by volume, 24 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is just under 6 months old. So this is a beer that I haven't picked up since Boulevard started distributing to the West New York area about 2 or 3 years ago. I've seen it a couple times, and I just passed on it. And that's because back in the day on beer tubing, I followed quite a few channels, and most of the people who reviewed the beer, and I'm talking like 2012, 2013, a lot of them just didn't really care for this beer. They just weren't fans of it. I think they may have tweaked the recipe at some point down the line, but I just have never been like enthralled with this beer and just like kind of you know, I haven't picked it up. I've seen it on the shelf the past couple of years, just haven't picked it up. So this year I saw it and I was like, you know what? The best way to know whether or not you like a beer is to review it yourself. I always say that. And with this one, I kind of just let, I guess, the negative reviews or negative connotation with this beer from beer tubing back in the day kind of resonate with me. And, you know, I was like, I always tell everybody the only way for sure to know if you like a beer or you don't is to try it yourself. So that's what I'm doing with this one. Now, it concerns me they're using chocolate and vanilla extracts and whatnot, but you know what? There's a lot of beers that use stuff like that, and I like them. So we'll see. 8.7%, 24 IBUs. It's a big boy. And again, this is, they just say ale. It's basically American strong ale. There is no actual base style to this one, like this specifically. It's not a porter, it's not a stout, it's not just American strong ale, you know, catch-all style for the most part. It's a strong beer that doesn't really fit in any other category, and it, that cap's on there pretty tight. So anyway, let's give it a pour here and see what we got going on. Yeah, that's looking like a, I don't know, like a red ale. I don't know, it's just not looking like any specific style, which it isn't. Probably gonna cheat here. We'll see. Anyway, so that pours out this, yeah, like rust color. Very filtered. You can see through it for the most part. About a finger of this tannish colored head, somewhat creamy looking. Yeah, it looks interesting. If you told me this is a chocolate ale, this is not what I'd expect color-wise. That's just wouldn't. Then again, I would think if you're making a chocolate ale, it'd probably be like closer to a porter stout. Anyway. I don't like the smell. I'm just being honest. I just don't like the smell. There's a spiciness in there, almost like a slight peppery tone. Like it almost has like this green pepper kind of vibe like you get from like coffee beers or coffee in general that are older. Start giving off like this green pepper astringency. Kind of what I'm getting in the nose. There's a little bit of like an underlying chocolate, but I'm getting more of like the chocolate extract. It kind of smells fake to some degree. There's like caramel and toffee, probably from the base ale portion. There's definitely a sweetness, but that like pepper, green pepper, just kind of spiciness that's just stepping in the way. Could be the cacao nibs to some degree. Okay, well, either my palate's broken, I'm stupid, a combination of the both, or maybe that's what I'm getting. But I'm getting like red licorice. Yeah, I know, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. But I'm getting like a sweet red licorice. Like a red vines or something. I don't know, Twizzlers. Yeah, I'm starting to come around on the nose a little bit. It's not as bad as when I first put my nose in there and started smelling it because I like red licorice, but it doesn't smell anything like I thought a chocolate ale would smell like. Like it's all over the place for me. So let's get a taste, see what we got going on. Cheers, everyone. Very inoffensive. Like I thought the taste I would hate. Very inoffensive, very malt forward. Like it's super malty, which you kind of expect. Body for 8.7%. This is like lower side of medium, approaching medium, so a little bit thin. Touch thin. Shout out to Paul over at PA Brewers. The mouthfeel has been a nice, you know, carbonation to it. It's not overly carbonated, but properly carbonated. It's not soft or smooth or anything. It just definitely has a crispness to it. So the body mouthfeel, body's a little bit thin, mouthfeel's fine. The taste, I'm getting red licorice. I'm getting huge malt character to this one. Like caramel, toffee, a breadiness, kind of just from the base ale, I would assume. And that's all at the forefront. Then I'm getting like berry, red licorice. That's all at the forefront. Passes through the palate. The chocolate comes in. And again, the chocolate is following the extract portion. Like it almost has like a fake, how would I describe this? If you've ever had like, I don't know, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, like kind of like fake chocolate. It doesn't have an authentic kind of chocolate vibe to it. To me, it just smells more like candied chocolate to some degree. It kind of tastes more like a Tootsie Roll or something, like a chocolate kind of flavor like that, as opposed to like real chocolate, which isn't bad. Like I love Tootsie Rolls and fake chocolate, sure, but it just doesn't, for me, it's not working as well as I want it to in this beer. I'm getting a little bit of vanilla, like undertones of vanilla. Well, that's not really the star of the show. The star of the show to me is the red licorice. And again, my palate is incredibly stupid at times, and this could be one of those times where it's like off the chart in terms of stupidity. But for me, this is not, like it says chocolate ale, and this screams anything but chocolate ale for me for the most part. It's sweet. There's almost no bitters to speak of. There's a nice dryness on the back end. I can tell you what, the 8.7%, I pretty much can't taste it. So if you want a beer that hides the alcohol quite well, and you like red licorice or like a very malt forward beer, like I could see you enjoying this one. I don't hate it. I'm disappointed by it. And I kind of know why, like for years, I've watched a bunch of beer tubers review this one and be let down by it. And that's because I'm let down by it. So I get where they're coming from. I don't know. I don't know if they tweaked the recipe or they've kept it the same, or maybe they brought back the original. I don't know what the case is with this one. For me, I wouldn't say I'd scrap the recipe because I don't, that's not my place to say. But for me, this just doesn't scream chocolate ale, and I'm disappointed by it. The positives of this one, I think they did a good job on the mouthfeel. I think they did a really good job hiding the alcohol, and I don't hate the beer. For me, the negatives are the body's thin. I really don't get much chocolate, and the chocolate I do get is quite fake, probably from the extracts, who knows. And it just doesn't have a ton of complexity for what I'm looking for out of a beer like this. So, yeah, like I said, it's not a bad beer. It's just not one for me. So I'm going to give Boulevard Brewing Company's Chocolate Ale, the 2020 vintage, a low 3.25 out of 5. I'm going to go 3.15 out of 5. I want to give it higher than 3 out of 5. So 3 out of 5 for me is like, I'll drink it, but I'd never buy it again, and I will never have it again unless, like, I'm at a party or something, or get together and someone throws it out there. So it's kind of in that realm, but I'm going to give it a little higher to 3.15 just because I do, like, again, I'm getting red licorice, and I like red licorice. I think they did a great job with hiding the alcohol. It's 8.7%, it drinks like it's 6. So I got to give the positive. So 3.15 out of 5 is not a great score. A lot of people would be like, no, that's a bad score. And it is, especially to me, who, like, more often than not, most of the beers I review on my channel, like 3.75 or higher. So it's very rare to get like under 3.75. And when I do, it's usually a lower score. So the best thing I can say, or I should say, the thing I can say about this beer in general is, if you're on the fence with this one, kind of like I was, grab it, see what you think about it, and form your own opinion, because this is probably a very polarizing beer. It's probably a beer that a lot of people will buy and love, and a lot of people will buy and strongly dislike. And I don't say I'm strongly disliking it, but if you tell me if I'm to the dislike or like portion, I'm closer to dislike. Just not a fan for me. So I will ask people out there, if you've had this one before, any of the prior vintages, or maybe all the vintages, what you thought about this one, because I love Boulevard's big beers. I love their bottled beers like this that, are usually crazy. They're for me. I like a lot of them. This one I do not. So I'd be curious to know if anybody out there really loves this one, or if there's people that kind of agree with me. For me, it's just a miss. Price and availability. Price on this one, $16 a 4-pack, and availability wherever Boulevard gets distribution, I believe. $4 for that bottle. I think it's worth it. I mean, based on the ingredients and the ABV, I think $4 for a bottle, that is worth it. I would personally never pay it again based on my rating and how I feel about it, but I feel like if you're going into it blind, you have no idea if you're going to enjoy the beer, and you're just picking it off the shelf. I don't think $4 for a bottle of this is crazy, especially not nowadays, and where, four packs of 16-ounce cans of IPAs are $18 to $20. Like, 8.7% beer like this, I think it's fine. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Not a beer for me. Don't hate it, just don't really enjoy it. And I don't know if I'm going to drink the rest of this. Might be a drain pour. I don't know. We'll see. Depends on how I feel the rest of the day. I have one more beer to review, and we'll see. But I might put the rest of it back because I don't hate it. I just, I was expecting more. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.